Take a motion. Good evening. Welcome to the school committee meeting of April 12th, 2022. I would take a motion to open the meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Amanda.
Second.
Second by Trista. All in favor?
Aye.
I would also take a motion to move to executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A for Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining because an open session may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the school committee.
So moved.
Moved by Amanda.
Second.
Second by Lauren. All in favor? Oh, we have to do roll call on that.
Oh, yeah.
Roll call.
Walker.
Walker? Aye. Roll call
Mulligan,
again. Foster?
Aye.
McLaughlin, aye.
Higgins, aye.
All right. The school committee will return to open session.
Okay, really
dated September 1, 2022 to August 31, 2025. Superintendent, anything to add about this before we vote?
It was a great negotiations. The teachers, very respectful. I feel that I want to thank the school committee, the town administration, John Shea, Dr. Williams, the committee that was there for the schools. I believe that our teachers need to be respected. I feel that we've respected them. I hope that they feel valued with this contract. I had a nice conversation with Kurt Shippey, who is the president of the EBA. I believe that we did what we said that we were going to do, that we're working together, and we're trying to provide a good contract that our teachers feel valued and respected, and that also we know that we can sustain it for the years to come. And, that's what we need. We need predictability and sustainability. I try to pride ourselves as the district with that for the town, because there are other departments in the town, and I think that the EBA understands that and worked with us for it, and they did a great job on their side working with us, so, I would like to thank them as well.
Thank you. Mr. Shippey,
Yes.
you wish to come up and speak? You have anything you wanted to add?
Well, you give me the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I would just second Superintendent Legault's sentiments that it was a thorough, professional, cooperative process to come to this contract that the membership was happy to support. I think it's my fourth contract. I don't really remember, but it's certainly the quickest. Then we worked through it very, very thoroughly, and I can't thank my team enough, the representatives from each building, and all stages of careers here in East Bridgewater, newer teachers, middle of their career, and teachers who've been here a little bit. So, again, it was a great process.
It was a pleasure going through it with you as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments before we take a motion? All right, I would take a motion at this time to approve the collective bargaining agreement as outlined during executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Ellen,
Second.
second by Trista. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Shippey.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Best of luck to you on the rest of the school year.
Thank you.
We have this, do we already sign? Did you and Kurt sign?
I already signed.
I don't have the name.
Is there a new one to sign?
I thought you signed it.
I signed the one right after we.
Got it. All set. Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
You want to go with Chief O'Brien next?
Sure. Chief O'Brien, welcome, and thank you for coming before the committee. We appreciate it. So Chief O'Brien is here to discuss with us the MOU between the district and the EBPD regarding the SROs in schools, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a document set up by the state. We had one under Chief Allen, and now we'll have one under me. And it pretty much outlines responsibilities of our SRO, Letha Connor, and how we interact with the school.
Is there a prior MOU that this is updated, or is this a first time?
Yeah, no, we had an initial MOU, and just recently, the Office of Safety, Security came out with recommendations that all school districts should incorporate within their memorandum of agreement. So we went through, updated, added those recommendations that they had.
Sure.
Most of it was things that we were already doing, just formalizing it within the MOU.
Excellent. Does anyone on the committee have questions for the chief or for the superintendent about this? No?
If I can just add, our relationship with the East Bridgewater Police Department couldn't be better. I started with Chief Allen and with Chief O'Brien now, and we have our school resource officer here at the district who goes from building to building to building throughout the day and spends a lot of time here at the high school helping out Letha Connors. It's a great relationship. We're not a liaison to the police department, but we have a great relationship with the police department, and we're working to get a better better handle on things that happen in the schools and happen in the community, so we can work with our kids. But thank you, Chief, and thank you, Talitha, for all you do for us. We appreciate
Our
it.
pleasure.
Appreciate it as well. Officer Connor, I thank you for your work. I can tell you personally, I have two very close friends that are SROs in different districts, and I know how difficult their job is, balancing the police aspect of their job along with working with kids and being a positive influence. So we thank you for everything you do for our children. At this time, I would take a motion to approve the MOU as outlined in our packet between the EBPD and the East Bridgewater School Department.
So moved.
Moved by Trista. Second. Second by Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We have the presentation of the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents Certificate of Academic Excellence Award.
Faith? Have a seat right there, honey.
Thank you.
So each year, the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents asks us to award a student in our district on something that we would like to hear from on our students. I could have Faith read this, but I know that I don't want to put you on the spot. So, and I went through it several times and highlighted more and more. But I asked the student body, and I received quite a few of essays from the student body. And I asked them, what did COVID, what did the pandemic do to you, your feelings? Did it stop you from being a student? What was it like? And I just picked out a few highlights, Faith, if I can.
Sure.
I can read it from you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we all remember hearing the announcement on March 13th echoing over the loudspeaker nearly 2 years ago. In the moment, it was rejoicing, laughter, and celebration. Looking back, this is off-putting. The more appropriate reaction may have been fear, uncertainty, a desire for a final reflection on the simple nature of life up to that point, the complete change of our lives. Loneliness became the norm. So we were cut off. Our spheres, once so full of life, seemed to have exhaled indefinitely, not daring to breathe, incomprehensible silence. Although I boasted it at times, I am unsure of how healthy it really was. I'm sure my peers would find, as well as I, that we had too much of ourselves, alone. Even once school returned in the fall, it was never the same as it had been. Students divided into cohorts. We were split between screens, left staring back at our fatigued faces, black squares. In my recounting thus far, it seems all COVID has done is divide the world, our country, my peers, and myself. It had been months, and my friends and I decided to get together. We concluded we should attempt to refrain from getting too close, and we would be outside whenever possible. If I'm being quite honest, it was awkward. We all had really changed. In April of 2020, my grandmother passed away quietly, her death lost in the spaces of COVID created between us. I also expressed my realization that we would graduate in 2 years, that we had 2 years left together. We had already lost so much, and we would have prepared to lose more. Tears filled my eyes for minutes. Soon, my friends filled my arms, and we were together. In the present day, it's not uncommon to hear a speech or a gathering prefaced with the remark that is, incredible to see all of us which have gathered here today, whether they be masked or having the pleasure of finally being able to see smiling faces. Now, we cross fingers that our graduation may be in front of a crowd. We pray that prom may be at a venue. Our youthful joy recorded through smiles and photos. Some even manifest that simple ability to go to school in person remain. The divide created by COVID has left all of us as high schoolers with expectations set low. We are prepared to be disappointed while bleak, it's the truth. Nevertheless, our experiences with loss have summoned our new appreciation in us. COVID tried to destroy us and our spirits, and while it drew lines through our circles, we regrouped even stronger. Never again will we take our togetherness for granted. Our junior prom was in the parking lot. The 2020 graduation reigned the streets. My grandmother's first ceremony of life was written on huge posters flown across our driveway. We felt more together than ever. As a senior of the class of 2022, I can easily say my high school experience hasn't been typical. Some may ask if I'd want to change that, given the option. No, not for the discovery of myself, not for the inexplicable feeling of reunion after months on end, not for mindset and lifestyle that is unappreciative of what we all could lose in a second, for what we now dream normalcy. I hope that has hit you as it did me in my office when I read it.
Yes, thank you for reading that for me. Might not have made it through.
I certainly think you captured everything that we wanted to say. And I think what you also did for us is that you really told us how students in this age group that we have, from pre-K of 3.5, 4 years old, to our 18-year-old seniors going off to college. So Faith Jean Marie Jordan, having duly qualified under the standards prescribed by the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents, is hereby awarded the Certificate of Academic Excellence. On behalf of the Association of the Superintendent of Schools of the Commonwealth, I here to affix my signature, Elizabeth L. Lagos, Superintendent of East Bridgewater Public Schools. I'm very, very proud of you. and
Thank
what
you
you've
so
done.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Faith, congratulations on where you're off to next year. Did you want to, I don't want to steal your
yeah.
thunder, but do you want to announce to the school committee where you've committed to?
Oh, Northeastern.
Oh, you're taking a picture. And Faith, congratulations to your parents, too. I'm sure they're very proud.
Mr. Clements, you were here this evening? Or I didn't really realize that you were there. We should have gotten a picture with you as well.
Oh, that's okay. The pictures of me, the better.
Is he speaking tonight? And we can have him go next so we can get home.
He was just going to answer a few questions. If
Okay.
anybody had any questions.
Okay. Do we want to?
Go, Lucy.
We can take Lucy first if she's got.
You want to? Me? Lucy, come on up.
There's not much more.
All right.
There's not much more.
Okay. Time has been scheduled for a report from the East Bridgewater High School Student Advisory Council to the school committee. Lucy, how are you?
Good, how are
We
you?
haven't seen you in a
I know,
while.
I haven't been here in a while.
All right. How's life?
The drama show is over, so now I'm a person again. And I'm able to be here. So I do have a couple updates from the Mitchell School and the high school. To start, the Mitchell School celebrated World Autism Day on Friday, April 1st by encouraging all staff and students to wear blue. Students at the Mitchell School have been working on MCAS this month. ELA is done this week, and math will begin after break, I think.
Yes.
And Spring Picture Day will be held on Wednesday, April 13th. For the high school, the Pops concert will be on May 13th and 14th. The week we come back from break will be Mental Health Awareness Week, which will have a lot of events. On Tuesday, after we get back from break, there will be a mandatory meeting at 6:15 for parents of students attending the junior or senior prom, and the students will have a meeting similar to that during the school day on that Tuesday. And the junior prom will be May 6th, and the senior prom is May 27th. That's all I have today.
How did the show go?
It was good. It was fun.
I heard wonderful things. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's great. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Lucy.
Thanks, Lucy. You're welcome.
At whatever point you make your own decisions, you'll make sure to let us know at the meeting after that, right?
I did make my decision.
Do you want to make an announcement?
I suppose I will. I am going to Creighton University. It's in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right. Congratulations. What will you be studying?
I will be on the pre-PT track studying exercise science.
Very nice. Awesome. Very nice.
Thank you. I don't think so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Superintendent's Corner.
Sure. Invitations to the school, to all of you for seniors, senior honors and awards night, diplomas and graduation, and underclass celebration of accomplishment night. If you can do it now, or you can do it, through emails. Just let me know who is going to be at graduation, who would like to do senior honor night, and underclass.
I think we've already got Mrs. Pennington willfully volunteering to be a part of seniors night and handing out diplomas. I'm sure any other member who wants to can participate as well, but I know you have a daughter.
And you're all welcome to graduation.
Graduation's fantastic. I know Ellen's daughter's graduating this year, and I'm sure you're very proud. So I'm sure you'll be front and center for those events.
Yeah, last year we all cried when Trista cried,
Yeah.
so I look forward to crying
gonna
next
try
year
hard
this
not to
year,
cry.
Ellen.
Yeah. We'll let you know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I always say I'm not going to cry, and then I cry anyway, so
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see.
Just the North River Collaborative update, their budget is in. I think you had it, and I think we sent it to you, and then you also signed off that I would be their liaison, so I just was bringing that up. They are in negotiations right now with their association, so when they get done, I'll let you know on theirs. But because of the collaborative, we needed to talk about it.
Can I go back to one thing? The underclass, nobody said who wanted to do the underclass celebration of accomplishment night.
We'll get to that.
Amanda?
I'm sure somebody will. Amanda will.
I can do it.
Amanda?
I'll send out an email
wrote
to
down
everybody asking for volunteers for all of these events. Google Doc.
So I had, so Deb Vaughn, our food service director, is in the beginning stages of arranging for the free and reduced application to be completed online for the F-23 school year. Mrs. Vaughn will announce when the application will be available for parents to complete and submit online. We do have them. She's going to go slow because we don't want to send all of them out and have a glitch. Because we are changing over our system, and the state has changed over the system over this last year. So you'll be getting it, and you'll start to see a little bit more every week on free and reduced lunch. I did ask Mrs. Vaughn, if she believed that we would have free lunches next year. She does not believe that will be the case at this time. The feds or the state has not given any clear or defined explanation for that. I thought we'd probably have another year of it. I did.
I was hoping this
Yeah,
was something that'd just become a practice.
Yeah,
One would hope.
It may, but like Deb said, we're going to just continue and just keep doing this model and keep. So they are working on it. IT has it. I know that Deb Vaughn is working with our IT department on it. So a little at a time, and then we'll have it all done prior to the opening of school. The EBCC has a flower sale. You can find the East Bridgewater Coalition. They met today. Our students of the Unity Club met with Jameel Adams. We brought in a consultant, actually going to be a partner with us. He's the DEI coordinator of the Situate Public Schools. He then stayed with us and spoke to our own EBCC coalition. I would ask that if anybody would like to buy flowers or want to come to an EBCC meeting, that you would go to our website. You can follow the link on the East Bridgewater Public Schools website. Follow the link, and you can find the EBCC webpage. Talking about our webpage, we are looking for a new company to work with us to design a webpage, make it a little bit clearer, make it a little bit friendlier, I guess, not so busy. And we're going to take our time and look at that, and we are starting to talk about that. And I think I got that. I think that's where we're at.
Recommendation from a parent putting the cafeteria menus front and center would be great, because navigating through our website to find those every Sunday night as we're talking about what's
Okay.
is a nightmare. But I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure it'll look great, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like that,
It's
that
time.
and this
yes.
are
the
like the
calendar.
top two things that
Yep.
people look for, and they are the most buried documents
Yep.
on that website.
So you want our calendar up in front, and you want
Menus.
the lunch menus?
Yes.
Okay.
Although it is better, I noticed that the calendar on the school website now has
Yeah.
most of this in it.
Noticed that, yeah.
And so that's a big improvement.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Anything else? Is Mr. Clements here to
Oh,
answer
yes.
questions about anything?
Yeah, so you had your course booklet a couple weeks ago we sent out, and I said, I know that a couple of you had contacted Mr. Clements. If there's any questions at this time, I did ask him to come to tonight's meeting. If anybody had any questions, I know that Lauren, you had reached out to him personally. But if anybody had any questions or comments on the courses, or Bill, if you wanted to just say, I know that you're going to make we know you're making changes over the next year.
Yep.
You just had to sort of stay with what you had this year, but you are making changes.
So, yes, so we tried to, it's difficult to capture the fluid nature of the program of studies that is exactly the same except totally different from year to year to year. But probably the biggest thing in the work that has been going on throughout the course of this year with myself and Mr. Taylor and Dr. Williams, Ms. Legault, and with the teachers is around assessment. That's one of our big rocks. We're talking about doing it meaningfully, as well as we want students and families to, in a healthy way, challenge themselves, take appropriate academic risks. And so some of the language that has been inherited is around course prerequisites. And we do not want students or families to overreach and set themselves up for failure or pile on to, the SEL emotional burden that we've talked about, and it's not healthy for kids to be up till 2 in the morning doing homework, those kinds of things. Having said that, we also, it's not healthy. Having said that, we also want to open things up. So some of the prerequisites that are in there are pretty cut and dry and are pretty black and white, and are in there as you may need an 85 to move from honors to CP or something of that sort. So those are still there. We felt it would be premature and undermine the work that has come before us to strip it away completely. But we're using those more as guides or recommendations in choosing what courses are there. There might be a student who has risen to an 84 and is ready for that challenge. There also might be students that are coasting to an 86 that really aren't ready for that challenge. And in the conversations that have already taken place with our guidance counselors and the conversations that have been taking place at ILT, which is our instructional leadership team, we're just trying to increase communication amongst and between students, families, guidance counselors, and teachers to make sure that everybody is on the same page, because we want to do that, but we also ask teachers to put some thought into recommending courses for the next year. And we don't want teachers, I direct the teachers, said take time, have conversations with your students so they know what and why the recommendation is what it is. And then we don't just want that to be automatically overridden and not give the thought or the credence to those conversations. So we've created an internal communication mechanism where we will check back and refer, and sometimes there's reasons to override and not, and that's okay. Looking ahead, I wouldn't be surprised to see those prerequisites fade more into the background for next year as we continue to work and meaningfully assess. But that's the big thing that's in there, and it's difficult to kind of quantify that in a written word to explain the why behind the process.
So I have a question as a parent who's going to be a high school parent
Sure.
over the year. So is this document something that's handed out to parents? Is it sent home? Like, how is this disseminated?
It's posted online, and it's posted online, and it's frequently referred to.
Gotcha.
And generally speaking, year to year, there's not a lot of significant change.
Right.
For the most part, the courses that we offer are similar from year to year. We also will have some rotating courses where it's in the program of studies every year, but an elective may be offered every other, just because of teaching limitations or enrollment. It's not enough to run the class every year, but we try to do it that way and prioritize.
The only reason I'm asking is I know that, middle school courses and results feed into where you're placed in high school. And
Yep.
we're already having conversations with a seventh grader about, where you're doing now will feed into what you
Yep.
take next year. So I don't know if seventh grade parents are as familiar with that process as perhaps ninth or 10th grade parents might be. I say that wondering if there's any other seventh grade parents.
I'm going to hazard a guess that they are not as familiar
Right.
with it. And one of the things, too, that we will be making more of a focus on is making sure that in the spring, we are sending representatives to the Mitchell School so that the conversations with this year's 6th graders and next year's 7th graders are there, and we can walk through, this is what it's going to look like, this is the process, this is the element of choice, which is, there's still some, it's less than in high school, but it's still there, but also just getting some familiar faces. We want them to see Ms. Herman, we want them to see Mr. Fox. They're big personalities and presence in this building, but our 6th graders don't know who they are yet, and this is where you go. And that's something that we're gonna have with the step-up day and all of that, and frankly, I think that's something that we can do better to continue to support.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You also have early college meeting? Or at
Yes,
some point
so
we'll be
we
adding?
have an early, we're in the process of, which is related but separate, so Ms. Legault, Dr. Williams, myself, Karen Clifford, we've been talking about early college and what we are hopeful, and we're going to be putting out to parents, and we're going to be piloting this in the fall. Again, we're partnering with BSU, so assuming everything goes according to plan, that we are going to be able to offer a college course to next year's seniors, this year's juniors, during the school day, built into their schedule here, for an opportunity for 3 college credits. That's just it. I mean, it's not going to be conditional upon getting a 4 or 5 on an AP exam. We're going to be offering, there's a cap of 20 students. We have met and worked with Mr. Shippey and the EBEA to ensure that we are not taking away a course or an opportunity from our teachers. We're not going to teach English 12 and bump somebody out of a job, but right now we're looking at either a course in financial literacy, sociology, or psychology, which if you look, psychology is in our program of studies currently, but this would be built upon that, and if we were to develop this, our course would actually be a prerequisite for that. So if anything, it strengthens the course that we teach here. That's going to be largely dependent upon what BSU is able to offer us in terms of what teaching staff they have available. We had to get a little bit creative with the schedule. Dr. Williams and I wrestled with that for an hour or two, but I think we came up with something that's going to work. We're hopeful that it is going to build and grow a little bit. We want to make sure that it is meaningful and authentic. And in that coming parent night that is coming up for prom, so if parents don't have a child going to prom, they don't have to attend the meeting, but we are going to be communicating out a time where we want, just because we have bodies in seats, we want to present that to parents too. So you'll be hearing more about that.
So if this is something that does happen?
Yes.
There's a cap of 20 students? What's the prerequisite for students to be able to take it or to be chosen? Say, I mean, you may not
Sure.
get 20, you may get 20, you may get more than 20.
Yes. So that's a great question in terms of what it, and our guidance staff are currently aware of it. We are going to be taking a look and seeing how it can also fit into students' schedules, taking a look. It's a college level course, so we would be looking at students that have demonstrated the ability to be academically successful here. There will be other supports built in where there will be some time, free period makes it sound like they're not doing anything. That's not it at all, but we would have some additional time set in, and students would be giving up, it would be conducted largely during Viking block. So there is some added elements of independence, strong students, and with those numbers, with a small enough course, we will be taking it on a case-by-case basis, but our hope is to be able to run more than one course second semester next year. So hopefully we're able to accommodate everyone. If we have more interest than we're able to accommodate, that's a good problem. It's still a problem, but it's a good one. And then we will be prioritizing those students also in terms of looking ahead to the second semester.
Oh, good. So if someone wants to take it and there's just not enough space,
Yep.
there's an opportunity next time around.
That is our hope, yes.
And we're also, because we belong to a consortium, there are other schools that have partnered with us. The UMass colleges are partnering with us, so UMass Dartmouth. We also have Fisher College that we are talking to right now to join us. And we'll be able to look at what courses they have to offer, so if students want to take a course over the summertime or at night, virtually or synchronous or asynchronous, or want to go to, say, Massasoit, we have an agreement with them of the cost of the course and what a student could take. So the student who's a junior or going into their senior year possibly could drive over there for a 4 o'clock in the afternoon class, 4 to 6, if they're not in a sport or anything else. So we are still piloting this. We are still working at it. We hope to offer some scholarships. We're looking, I really believe, Jay Fallon's here tonight, we do ESY every year to support students who need us all year round, and all students need us all year round. But we do pay for ESY, and we do pay for students to come to the summer programming. I feel that there is a need for our district, our school committee, and our budget and our finance committees in the next couple of years to figure out how we can do this for our seniors or kids at the high school level. If we can make an agreement that, Assumption College, we do have an agreement with Assumption College. Instead of paying $17.50 a course, we're looking at $450 a course. So how do we get our kids there? Can we offer a scholarship where we're paying $75 and mom and dad have to come up with $25, whatever the case is, we'll try to do our best. But to be able to take 3 or 4 courses as a junior and a senior and then have, 12 credits going into your freshman year is a burden taken off our parents' shoulders. And I'm hoping that parents can see that and understand that. Just like as we offer ESY services in the summer, it is a burden taking off a lot of parents' shoulders of, I still need help with my son or my daughter, and I need hands. I need hands-on, and Jay provides that. And we provide, and I'd like to see if we could provide that for our kids at the opposite level, trying to move forward. So, we can look at these things and continue to, work with colleges and in the consortium, we're almost up to 18 schools, 18 districts. The more districts we have, the more colleges are, apt to work with us and to lower their prices. So,
That's great.
Will these classes, this class with BSU, will that be at a cost to the students right now? As of right now. I mean, we don't want to wait for this opportunity based on funding. So, as the superintendent said, no student would be excluded because of a financial need. So then the district would be working to see how we could offset that cost. But for right now, I think our priority is providing these opportunities for our students, and then ultimately having them available to them at no cost.
Yeah.
And also, are we thinking of, this, I know this has been a lot of work, especially this year, of working toward a state-designated partnership?
So April 13th, which is tomorrow,
Yeah.
is the opening date with DESE to apply to become a designated early college, have the designation early college district. We are in the application phase, and we will be working, Karen Clifford has already done the 2 webinars and is working with DESE to do the application for us.
Great.
And it's really to get the designation so that we can get more grant funding for this. The more, with the designation, it will offer us the opportunity to look better when we apply for grants, I think. And so we had a consortium meeting last week with everyone, and we've told everybody it's April 13th. We've got to apply for this designation. Mass Alliance, Education Alliance has been partnered with the Mass Superintendent's Association. They are willing to help any and all schools with the designation and the paperwork, because it is a extensive process.
Great.
So.
All schools that have received the early college funding, though, have established partnerships with higher ed.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's important for us to have that partnership and relationship with BSU, so that as we move forward in Massasoit, that then we're moving forward with, we've already done all of that work, and it makes it a lot easier for them to know that we're serious about it.
And having that pilot data, it certainly helps in your application process.
We do have one, you did partner, or the high school, we do have one high school senior or junior who has applied to the Assumption Great Books. It's a 1-week course, and it was there's 3 now? 3 at the high school, and and it's going to cost $250 to go up and to stay on campus, stay in the dorms, eat on campus, and to be part of Assumption for the week. And I think it's July 11th through the 15th. So I think that's a great deal. And they're working with, I guess, the senior guidance counselor. So, and Karen Clifford's doing a lot of that work with the early college for us, so.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Clements. My pleasure. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Personal thank you from me. I sent poor Mr. Clements a laundry list of questions, and he took time out of his day yesterday to call me, and we had a really good conversation, I think, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to talk to me, so.
My pleasure.
Tim, on April 20, I put this in a note, or on April 20, I talked to the principals today. On April 26th, which is your next school committee meeting, or our next school committee meeting, I've asked all the principals to invite their school psychologists, their adjustment counselors, their guidance counselors, and their support staff, because I know that you wanted to hear from them, so they will be here. Most of the principals got back to me today and said, yes, they'll invite them, and we'll get as many as we can here. And if there's any specific information that you want, we're talking pre-K through 12. If there's any specific information that you are looking for, please send me an email, and I will send it to the principals. I sent them, we'd like to see the data of how many students that you're seeing, what has been an uptick. If you were regularly seeing, 15 students a week, how many are you seeing now? How many students are one-timers, meaning there are some students that we see on a regular basis. There are other students who, after the pandemic, we never saw before, now we're seeing. At the high school level, we'll find out how many trips to hospitalization and things like that. So,
I'd love to hear from the principals if they feel that the current guidance department is staffed and set up to meet their needs in the next year or two. I mean, I know we've kind of, the staffing is where it was pre-pandemic in terms of guidance staffing. Is that going to be enough? Is that sufficient?
We've added since.
We have?
the adjustment.
Right, we did it. My apologies, thinking guidance counselors.
the principals will always want more.
Yeah.
So they'll tell you, we'll take it, we always want as many hands as we can give. But yeah, the principals, they're gonna talk a little bit about their schools.
Gotcha. Thank you. Moving on to reports and discussions. So we have a thick stack of amended and brand-new school committee policies. This will be a first reading. We will vote on these at the next meeting. I will say, looking through them, that I was really pleased to see a new harassment of students policy, because dealing with school discipline on a daily basis, I know that most districts' existing harassment policies cover adults and students and are usually very broadly written. And this policy has some very specific examples of what is harassment that are very pertinent to what kids deal with on a daily basis. So I was kind of happy to see those examples delineated in this policy.
I second that. I agree.
Yeah. Is there anything about these policies, Ellen, that the subcommittee would want to add or comment on?
Well, actually, so I never brought them to the subcommittee because they were all. So the giant list of updated policies, that the MASC, a lot of them were like legal things.
Sure.
And so the MASC came out, and that was their recommendation. They came out in the middle of November last year.
Right.
And so we were just now. And the same thing with those 3 brand-new ones down there. Those also came as recommendations from MASC.
So why wouldn't we want to put the 3 on the bottom through subcommittee? Just to, did our lawyer, did Nick look at them? Did
No,
we-
they were, hold on, let me I can't speak to them until I look at them.
Okay. I'm fine with the top list. I just wonder why we wouldn't want to go through subcommittee for the bottom list.
I was wondering.
I would just say that the MASC
Covers their legal. So
works with
this
their
one
legal
here,
team. They send it out to every legal
Well-
team that works with the school districts, once they do this.
so I'm just gonna go to this one because it's a one-pager and simple to look at.
Yeah.
So this DEC has a legal reference, and it says Elementary and Secondary Education Act as amended.
Yep.
And so that's, I wouldn't touch it because it's a legal thing. And then this file ACR, hold on.
All policies have some kind of a legal reference. That's just simply saying it's a legal thing. I still want to make sure that,
Most of them have been updated because of the new laws or any new law that's come out. They're always gone through.
Sure.
I can tell you that the updatings from VDH, or Valario Hillman, yeah, VDH, Domino and Hillman, our attorneys, there was a couple on here the other day that came through, so they're vetted.
No, I see what Tim's saying, and I don't disagree with what you said, Liz,
Yep.
at all, because they are coming right down
Yep.
from MASC, and they're to be incorporated as our policy. Like, we don't pick and choose
Right.
how we incorporate them. And the larger number of policies are just updates to legal references or wording, so that really wouldn't necessarily be time well spent by a subcommittee. But these, at least two of these
Two of the three,
three,
I think, yeah.
I'm not requesting that a subcommittee meeting happen, but I just think that sometimes it's good to even just be familiar with such comprehensive policies, especially what they cover.
Yeah, I think
for
I'd like to
purposes of
see that.
discussion.
Yeah, I think I'd like
I
to
don't
see
know.
that.
Are you guys talking about the new policies?
The two new ones, not,
AC-R and JICK, not DEC, because I agree,
Yeah.
it's a very simple.
So,
No.
okay, so
Okay.
I don't see,
So-
just as a quick glance on this one, I don't see any new law. But this
So-
one,
Ellen, my point being just that MASC doesn't dictate our policy, they make recommendations,
Correct.
but just because they put something out doesn't mean we're obligated to
That is
amend it,
correct.
adopt it. These are complicated, the two policies, the first and the third on the last list. It's not that they're not vetted, it's just, I just want to make sure that a set of eyes, that the purpose of the subcommittee is to put a set of eyes on these proposed policies and think of the questions that could be asked and have a chance to vet it properly. That's all.
you can do that.
I just think it's a worthwhile, I think for the, I mean, anyone else want to speak up on this? If I'm the lone wolf on this, I'll.
I agree.
Okay.
I mean, you know you already have a policy, though,
we do.
of
already.
harassment on those.
Correct, but not harassment. So these are new, like, was the old policy just a broad harassment policy, and this is now specific to?
They're starting to get, they're starting to like.
They're reviewing their policies
Yes.
to make sure
And they're pulling them apart, and now you're adding policy.
What I guess what I want to hear is what happens to our existing harassment policy if there's now a new policy that's just specific to students? Does the
Oh, no.
harassment
So we
policy
have-
need to be revised? Is it null and void?
On this one here, we have, so this one, this AC-R is brand new, but we have AC,
We
which
have
is
AC.
also,
Right.
right, which is also a harassment policy, but I don't have it in front of me, so I can't.
But to
speak it.
Tim's point, just for example, not to belabor it, but what we did with the animal in school, when we looked at several local districts, and we kind of made sure that our policy worked for the needs of our district, we also made sure it fit in where it fit. So for example, this is going to fall in under policies, AC, and it's going to scoot in under there, but maybe we can do some incorporating, rearranging with our broader harassment. I mean, maybe not, but it could be a worthwhile discussion.
The first thing that jumped to mind was, because I've run into these things before, is, does this policy in any way, shape, or form conflict with our student handbooks in terms of conduct? What is specifically considered harassment, what isn't?
No, because we send our handbook, remember last year, VDH went over it.
Okay,
There's no
So John
conflict.
Plaskett went through every page of our
right,
book.
okay.
If when the new policies come up, then we send it back out to them, because and the MASC will send out this. So all the attorneys or all the law firms that work with school districts will then get these.
And we would send an updated version for next year to them as
And then we send an updated version of, if
the update.
or Mr. Dominello would call and say, hey, did you add something? We need to add this. This is something that's come up that we need to add. And when we usually say, okay, we'll get them up to you.
Eleanor, we've had times before where we've passed policy quickly because we would be out of compliance with federal or state laws if we didn't. Is that the situation with any of these in the bottom three? Are we out of compliance with any federal or state laws if we don't immediately pass them?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so, although, my only one is on this harassment of students, JICK, because it says 34 CFR 106. Whatever, and then it says as revised through June 20th, so that looks like it's new, so this one potentially, I don't know.
But we just,
You can always do the first reading
Yeah.
and send it up if you want me to
Well, we
have.
could do the first reading tonight and then meet with the subcommittee.
That's what I'm saying. You have the first reading if
We,
you want to.
I don't want to put you guys on the spot. I know it's a busy time of year, but is there a chance you could meet before our next meeting, or would it be like?
Hopefully at least two of us.
Okay.
okay.
And if not, we can,
No,
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
We just have to figure out a time and have enough like 48 hours before.
We'll consider this the first reading, and if the next meeting, if this has to get put, if those three have to get pushed off till the meeting after that, or, you know what I'm saying, that's fine, I think I just read it.
to do
I have a call with Nick in the morning. I'll bring it up.
Good idea.
I've got a call with him.
Can I ask a quick question? Our Title IX coordinator for the district, I figured.
Dr.
it was Jean.
Williams.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. That's what I assumed. But, and then the only other thing, my comments about, I've seen like the changes from the MASC. I actually thought a lot of, like the big book were more, changes than I've seen than a lot recently, but a lot of it was about budgeting, and I know that has to be aligned. But I think that has some real implications for our process. I think we follow probably 98% of what those changes were, but just something to take note of for us for next year's process.
So we'll do a first reading tonight on everything, and then if the budget subcommittee can get together and we'll.
Policy subcommittee.
So-
Yeah, sorry.
Policy, sorry. I said budget. Never mind.
I knew what you meant.
So we'll see. It'll either be on the next agenda or it won't, depending on whether you guys are able to meet those last three.
We will strive to get it on the next agenda.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Any questions? Okay. Public comment? Seeing no one?
Hell no.
We'll move to action items. I take a motion to approve the minutes from the school committee meeting of March 22nd, 2022. Moved by Ellen,
Second.
second by who, I'm sorry, Amanda? All in favor?
Aye.
Take a motion to approve accounts payable warrant 41 SV dated 4/6/2022.
So moved.
Moved by Ellen.
Second.
Second by Amanda. All in favor?
Aye.
Take a motion to approve payroll warrant 40 PS dated 3/30/2022 and 42 PS dated 4/13/2022.
So moved.
By
Second.
Ellen, second by Trista. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have our calendar here for next year. First, I'll take a motion to approve the calendar of 2022 to 2023 school year.
Can I?
We'll get to questions and comments after
Okay.
we have the motion.
Motion.
Motion by Ellen.
Second.
Second by Trista. Comments or questions?
Juneteenth.
Yep.
I think it should be noted on here as a holiday, even though we don't intend, or we hope to not have to go
Yeah.
past it. You know what I mean? Because if the snow days go past where Juneteenth will fall on the calendar, that's gonna
There'll be
screw
confusion
things
about
up.
school being.
Right, so anytime we have snow days, we then update the calendar. So the last day of school gets changed.
Right.
Right, I just want Juneteenth noted as a holiday on
Yep.
here so that people might think, okay, well, if we've had 3 snow days, I have to skip over Juneteenth.
Okay,
Which
so we
kinda
don't think it'll create confusion by putting
That's why I'm
holidays
bringing it
there.
up.
Right. No,
because-
I don't think it will at all. I think people, because I think there was some confusion out there when people were looking ahead to when school ends this year, not realizing that Juneteenth was a Monday holiday because it wasn't noted on the school calendar.
Right, so are you saying to put Juneteenth in to shade it on the?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't think that will create confusion for people not knowing when the last day?
It would confuse me. It confuses people anyway. You know,
But if
people
you're
are always like,
telling
well,
them-
180 days, and then it has the last day here, and when is the last day? I just think, I know I was surprised, because I was, I'll out myself, I was the one who was confused. You know, I was looking for the last day of school, and then I noticed on the school calendar that Juneteenth was there, and it was gonna push back the last day of school. It was unexpected, so I think
Do you
parents.
think we should put it on there?
I just get concerned if we're shading dates after the school year ends, people won't
think it might be
necessarily, they'll be
confusing.
confused as to why we're reporting holidays
I
that are
agree.
happening after the school year.
Okay, so I agree.
So
but
we
then-
update the calendar, if we have a snow day, then we update the calendar that now this is the last day.
Then, I agree with you, then the counterbalance of that should be that if we get to the snow days that trigger that, we should immediately let parents
Yes.
know.
Yes.
By the way,
Right.
Which
we're not
is what
ending
is
on
done.
this day
Yeah,
But it wasn't, I don't think it wasn't done this year.
this year. It
I
wasn't.
only know because I was looking at the calendar and saw when the last day of school currently is. So in the new scenario, it would be, oh, just so you know, because we had, like, make it a couple weeks after the snow day, whatever. It doesn't have to be all the same thing, because
So as soon as the calendar updates, if it's going to impact,
Send out a message. to
then just be like,
families.
oh, PS, but even if it's in one of the, like, regular communications from the schools, or whatever, PS, just so you know, the last day of school currently, as, like, even if you,
Right.
after February vacation, when we hopefully
Yeah.
are through the woods.
Yep.
I don't know, I know, wishful thinking. I just think it would be
got it.
helpful for parents to know sooner rather than later that, oh, by the way, this holiday that is newish, that we
Yep.
don't all really kind of know about yet,
Okay.
thing now.
So upon the first day that a cancellation happens, and the calendar's going to have to adjust to let people know that if we have to cancel any more days, the 19th would be a no-school day.
Right.
Or even.
When it gets triggered, when that actually.
Right, when that actually happens.
Oh, okay, so when we are actually going beyond the 19th.
Right, so if we hit,
That would be the
so
second.
that would be two snow days.
Yep,
2 snow days in 2022, 2023 would put us to June 20th, not June 19th.
yes.
And I think that's where the, yeah.
Yep.
So once we hit 2 snow days, I think a PS.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions about the calendar?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And, oh, yes, so we have to annually vote to continue to accept school choice students. And as you all know, we accept school choice from 7 to 12. So we need to have a motion and a vote on continuing to accept students through our school choice program for the upcoming school year. So I take a motion to continue accepting students under school choice in grades 7 through 12 for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Moved by Amanda.
Second.
Second by Trista. All in favor?
Aye.
And anything else, Liz?
No?
All right. Anyone else?
Great April vacation.
Yeah, same goal here. Vacation. See you in 2 weeks.
Remember we have our math acceleration camp next week? Are we still taking?
Yep,
Yep, things just went out today.
especially grades 7 through 10.
So if any parents from grades 7 through 10 who want their son or daughter to be involved in an acceleration camp for math, it was a great February break. It's going to be a great April break. We have flash
Have lunch, yes, complimentary lunch every day. Flashback Franks,
Subway,
Bell, Subway.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell Friday,
Can I
I
ask a
know.
question?
Overnight.
Send them just, overnight.
Drop them off.
I thought you meant
Friday,
just
pick
for
'em up
lunch.
Friday.
Do you know, like, the math will probably be differentiated from grade to grade, but like, say, if certain students have certain problems with whatever math, like, are they gonna, like, how do they differentiate? How do
So
they?
students that were recommended for the program, it was through their iReady diagnostics that identified prerequisite skills that they need to work on. For students in grades 7 through 10, it was teacher recommendation based on skills that need to be reinforced. So we even had a couple of parents who their children not necessarily are struggling in math, but they wanted them to be involved in more like hands-on math opportunities over the vacation, and because we have empty spots, we have allowed that. So it doesn't necessarily need to be students who have unfinished learning in math if we have open spots.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Take a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Amanda.
Second?
Second by Ellen. All in favor? Have a good night, everyone.
John, I know why.